Yes, my view is that UTEP is probably the most important institution in our region, particularly if you view it as from an economic development, global competitive standpoint. How do we become more globally competitive? In our own history as a foundation, going back to 1995 in a previous campaign, we're now in the centennial campaign to honor the 100-year anniversary in 2014. But in 1995, we were in the legacy campaign, and at that time, we made a grant, which was the largest we'd made up to that date, to start what was the Public Policy Research Center, which became, a few years later, IPAD, the Institute for Policy and Economic Development. The purpose there was to try to come up with good scholarly public policy options for our political leaders and to train students to go work in public service and hopefully retain them here. And so that approach, in other words, to try to think strategically where we could spend $1 and hopefully the community and the institution get back $2 or $3 or $4. In other words, we're not just spending $1 and essentially getting $1's return for it. It has kind of been in our thought process for a long time. And previous scholarly research that has been done both here and one of the consultants that we brought in pointed out that UTEP and our school systems are doing a pretty good job in turning out high quality graduates, but the business and community, our overall business environment, is not retaining those students here. So the big benefit of what UTEP has done for the community and turn out higher qualified students doesn't really transfer into an economic benefit unless we can come up with high-paying jobs, complex jobs that require those kind of talents, and we can keep the students here. And that's a complex issue when you're in a globally competitive world, because the solution you had yesterday might not be the solution you need for tomorrow. So you really need an institution, a higher education institution, to lead the way. And the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that's headquartered in Paris, but the United States is the largest donor to that, has been doing a study on a countrywide or worldwide basis of 15 different regions, of which we're one. They'll release that report on Thursday of this week, but it makes the same argument that higher education needs to interact with government and business to create an entrepreneurial, innovative climate, and that's what creates and retains the types of jobs that your graduates are going to want to occupy and be paid competitively for doing so. The OECD and good scholarly research today is telling us it needs higher education if you're going to be competitive. In other words, you can't compete in the kind of world we have today without higher education as a partner with the business community and the government. We have a lot of talented business leaders in the community, some of whom have been successful and accumulated resources over the years, who are invested in El Paso and the Paso del Norte region. And I would just recommend or suggest to them that they look to try to take their ideas and translate those into action through being able to support UTEP to where UTEP can play a role, let them think strategically, and there's a partnership there between their money and the scholarly capacity of the university.